Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 9th installment of The Bobby Kudo Show.
Love the music.
You know what time it is.
9 o'clock in the morning.
It's time to get out. Woo!
Bobby's still up from last night.
I'm still partying from the weekend.
Love it. Love the energy.
It's Monday. Got some special guests today. Miss Corrine Plocharczyk.
That was good, hey.
And our new dear friend, Justin Rutkowski.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on?
And I'm your host, Bobby Kudo, back once again. Like, if you don't get up and move to this, then you're dead. You're not alive.
I don't want to lose my mic.
You're not alive.
I know, I'm like, oh. Amazing.
Well, let's talk about this real quick. I want to first say thank you to everyone for being here, again, on the podcast, on the live cast. I appreciate your time. We appreciate your time. We know your time is valuable, and we want to provide that and fill that with as much valuable information as we possibly could. Guys, thank you so very much for being here. Like, I am just elated. I'm excited. You know what? We talk about the show. I talk about the show, and I always talk about the evolution of the show, where we're headed, where we're going, and the sense of community and the idea that both of you are here joining me today for this episode. I just want to say thank you. Like,
Thank you.
I don't have, you know what? I'm a podcaster. Typically, I don't run out of things to say. I don't know what to say. Like, you guys have amazing energy. I mean, from the moment we met, it's like you guys have amazing energy, and it doesn't surprise me because the reason why you're here is because you're a part of you're pillars of the community. You go out of your way to help those and to bring realization and understanding to situations that, we might all forget about. Mm-hmm. It's easy to live day to day. And you know what? I always say this is a great example. We stop at a stoplight every day. The stoplight turns red, it turns green, it turns yellow. We're not looking around to see who's taking care of that stoplight, right? So we take it for granted that that's going to work all the time. Who's doing that for our children?
Yep.
Who's doing that for our community? Who's actually looking out to make sure that that light is working all the time? And the problem is, we talked about it earlier, Justin, it's who's filling in the gaps. Who is filling in those gaps? So now you've got these organizations that you are a part of and that you share. And I'm so glad and just excited to be a part of now, where you guys identify some of these gaps, right? Some of these situations where you might not or miss a child who may need that. COVID came and went. We talked about that, Corrine. Came and went. We talked about how it affected us. That was really the first part of our conversation was how did it affect us as adults and how does it affect us moving forward? And the truth of the matter of it is, what about our kids, right? Yeah. What effect did that have to them? The idea that the schooling wasn't what it was. Like all our children grew up. We all grew up in a certain way. This is how you go to school. You get, first day of school, you get your new gear, your dress, right? So exciting. Gone.
Yep.
Now, let me ask you this. At this point, Justin.
Yes.
What kind of effect do you see that with the children? Do you see a direct impact with children in regards to that?
Of course, Bobby. What it really comes down to is when it all came back and when the kids were coming back to school, there was a huge disconnect. The kids, they're so bottled up. I mean, Corrine, we've met plenty of times about this. We've met with different families about it. We've talked to the kids, and it just seems there's really not enough that one individual can do. Right. So like we talked, there's got to be ways to fill the gaps. The school can only do so much. Right. I've reached out to city councilors. I reached out to school committee. I spoke to the mayor. They can only do so much. The police officers can only do so much. So that's where we took it upon ourselves. If we can get into the community more, try to bridge these gaps, see where these kids are going, what they're doing, what's their interest. And through that's where we're hoping for organizations standing together, we could connect these kids.
So let me see this. Obviously, Giselle Correa, like an absolute disaster with that situation. Very terrible. I know that, I have friends that are friends with Giselle, and like everybody's like, we all get along, and granted, whatever happened, and that's in the past. But let me ask you, how does that affect your cause? Like, so now you mentioned speaking to the mayor. Now, who is that person? Like, if you wanted to move forward with these organizations and you wanted to make a difference, and you're saying, who is that person? Is it the city councilman? Are they the ones that have stepped up? Because I'd like to give credit to whoever it is that might have filled in that gap.
All of them have answered,
right? Because they have to, right?
Well, they can't answer publicly,
right?
So they're You know what I mean? Their hands are kind of tied right now because of the situation.
Yep. Yeah.
So
yeah. And again, and that's the things I talk
but they all talked in private.
Right.
I do want to make that the transparency there.
Which is a great thing because you can't lose sight of these organizations. You know, we could, potholes in the street, right? Well, everybody knows potholes in the street. And, you know, we talk about all these other situations, but when you talk about these programs, like I say it all the time, there are kids go to school. That's their meal.
Yeah.
That's their breakfast. That's their lunch. There's nothing at home for them.
Yep.
So you start to lose that. You start to pull away from that. Who's paying attention? You know what I mean? So I think that sometimes it becomes convoluted and we can get kind of caught up in all of the noise and everything that's going on. But the consistency of what you're doing, I spent some time on the group and I was going through there, and it's warming to see that there are so many people out there and people from the city. Like, guys, I'm from Fall River, born and raised. You could take me out of Fall River, but Fall River is always in my heart. My mom still lives in Fall River. So I have a lot of history there. And when I was going through that, I saw the kids, I saw where they were, and every location there was a picture. I was there. Like, it resonated with me. And I remember growing up and saying to myself, wow, my friends were a big part of my life. They really shaped who I am. My friends, my families, my uncles, those people that shaped who I am today. And where are those people today?
A lot of them move out. A lot of them have left the city.
Right.
So,
right.
And we got a lot of new transplants.
Yes.
So it's, like I said, there's a big disconnect, and hopefully through the organization and everything we're doing, we can try to provide different things for these kids to do, different events.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got rallies coming up. We got the car show coming up. We'll touch more on that when we get to it. But,
definitely. We got a bunch of events to talk about.
There's just so much going on, but I just want to start first about, we got the rally coming up, Generations for Youth Empowerment.
Is that the government center? At the government
center? It is
going
to be at the government center,
yeah.
So Corrine and I, we met through a fellow friend, Karen Cook. Karen had a daughter still does, attend a school in Fall River. So there was a video all over the internet. The video went viral. And then, not that we didn't know there was a big bullying issue and big mental health issue in the schools because of the disconnect, like we talked about the COVID.
Yep.
But this one just touched all of our hearts. People, it resonated differently because it was actually premeditated. So the video starts before the kid even leaves school. The other kids know, the peers know, and it's nobody stepped in.
Nobody stepped in.
To even let the girl know it was coming and say, put your hands up. Like, at least
the heads up. Right.
And her head's down, and it was awful. So through everything I do through organizations standing together, that's all the connect the youth program we have.
Justin, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
And not to cut you off.
No.
Do you think that happens because of the physical disconnect we have with each other? Because everything's this, right? Everything's on the phone, right, Corinne? Everything's on the phone. And I believe that we lose the physicality.
No,
we have.
Justin, if I disrespect you, sir, then by all means, like, I deserve a punch in the square. That's the way it works, right? That was always
We're promoting nonviolence.
No, I'm saying nonviolence. Absolutely. I'm saying there was a time,
of course,
where there were actual repercussions for the things that we said and the things that we did and hurt other people. That doesn't exist today. No. So I think in a situation like this, where you're actually premeditating something like this, what is that? Are they actually even conscious of what the consequences is of what they're doing to this individual?
It's so much, it goes so far back. Right now, especially with COVID, it's been brewing. We're in this individualistic culture, right, versus the collective. So when you guys talk about growing up in Fall River, I didn't grow up in Fall River. I grew up from upstate New York. But something I do appreciate about Fall River is that I live in a family friends, like, multi-layer home, right? So
multi-layer.
I like it.
I'm still early. Okay.
Three family. We call them three families.
I don't know. But like that didn't, I don't think that happened much. And if it did where I grew up, it was like, oh, why are they all living in a home together? So it's kind of all been brewing, but you guys still had this like collective culture going on. And that's something that's super, super crucial for the collective.
I agree.
We need to stay together.
Because that my friends, the people that lived in all those three family houses, their parents were looking out for me. My parents were looking out for their kids, and we'd hang out, and we would just be kids, and we didn't realize that we had that vision of adults just kind of blanketing over us, going, you know what? I can't see the kids, but I know the neighbor up the road can, which again brings us back to
Or
community.
give a snack after school because
There you
your
go,
parents
my
might
man.
be working. There was so
Absolutely.
much of that.
Yeah, man.
Even when I grew up,
Yeah.
you could walk
Yeah.
anywhere. You can knock on any door. Everybody knew
you
who you
could.
were in the neighborhood.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now it's people are moving in, people are moving out, and
Yep.
you don't even know your neighbor's name.
Right.
I cut my neighbor's grass because they own 2 businesses.
Yeah,
They're not home. They got money to pay for somebody.
Sure,
You know what I mean?
sure,
I cut
sure.
their grass because that's the neighborly thing
That's
to do.
just your good neighbor. That's just a good neighbor, good thing to do. We look out for each other. And that's what I'm saying. How is it that you stimulate that? How do you get people to buy into that? We can come on here and we can talk about these things. We can talk about dates. We can talk about events. But how do you get people up? How do you get them passionate about this? What's the way? There's got to be a way, right? Because it can't be just a few people giving so much. I mean, it has to be collectively. It's everyone. I think I consider you the town criers. You guys are up there going, hey, listen, there's a need for this. Like, we have to take care of our kids. This is the future. 10 years from now, these are the adults. These are the people that are going to be running our country.
It's terrifying right now. That's terrifying. And it's something, so I have my master's in forensic psychology, and something that I have said since the beginning of the pandemic with the mask, developmentally, how does that affect youth? Just a baby, that development and that impairment in it in itself. If people need to look at it like that, then look at it like that. But it stems through all youth.
Right.
And
Right.
there's just, it's not good. If we don't get a control on this and recognize, like, okay, developmentally we're so impaired for so many reasons.
Right.
If we don't do that now, in 10, 20 years, these youth are our future, and they are going to have meltdowns. If we think the country is melting down right now and people are melting down right now, they're not going to have the ability to know what to do with everything they're experiencing.
Right. Because this is normal. Right, this is the new normal. People, walking around with a mask, being afraid all the time. Listen, I was at the store, guys. I was at the store the other day.
I hope you're going to tell the same story as me because I go after you guys.
I was at the store that day, and I'm standing behind somebody, and it was almost like they kind of went out of their way to step away from me. And then, so I kind of got a little closer. Like, and then so I'm in the middle of the convenience store. I was buying some beer, just kind of hanging out. And then I'm looking around, and there's like nobody's saying anything to anyone. Everybody's looking around, and I'm saying to myself, I actually looked at the guy and saying, I'm like, it's pretty nice outside today, huh? And at that moment, we started talking, and then everybody else started chiming in, and we're all having a conversation.
Yep.
Is that what it takes?
That's what it takes. You got to make awareness. So if you don't bring awareness to it, like I've learned from doing this, going back about 2 years now for the nonprofit side of it.
Yeah.
When people do come out and they experience it, they come out again.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I've had friends.
Yeah, right.
Justin, you used to be one of the people doing this. You were running the streets. Says, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. I've been there. I've done that. I know what helped me get ahead.
Right.
I know what mentors I fed to growing up and was like, you know what, that's a positive change. Right
Why?
there. Maybe I can do
Justin,
that.
why do you do it?
Community. I got no kids. I got no kids in the school system. Yeah, I got nephews that 14 years old. He's almost out.
Yeah, but you know what?
I consider all the kids in Fall River my kids now.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And other communities. I'm not. If you're not from Fall River, I love you too. Like, come down, be a part of our events. We
See that?
Tons going on.
So the truth is, there is no reason, brother. You want to help your community.
I just want Fall River to
You're
be.
not looking for anything out of it,
Fall
brother.
River's a beautiful place.
You want to make it stronger. You want to make it a great place. These are our kids. I mean, it's just, you know what? I grew up there my whole life, man. The best moments of my life were in that city.
Of course.
I remember riding my bike anywhere I wanted to go. I'd go to Cook Pond. I'd go fishing at Cook Pond. I'd go down to Davis Beach. I'd go fishing at Davis Beach. It didn't matter where I wanted to go. I always felt safe, and it was okay to do that. And now it's, you wonder, like, all of this.
Well, now what it is you used to have family down the South End.
Yes.
So you drive down to meet your cousin.
Yes.
Your family's not there no more.
Right.
So that's the disconnecting that I always go back to that word, disconnect.
Yep.
Because there's a huge disconnect. If it's language, if it's cultural,
Sure.
if it's even personalities.
Right.
They're just,
Right.
but I notice when these kids do get together, they're forming something beautiful. It's over the group we're meeting with the Generations for Youth Empowerment.
Yep.
There's 4 or 5 kids from different schools that just met. We got to pull them up out of meetings. The parents are like, hey, it's getting late. It's time to go home.
Awesome.
Like, and they're like, hey, can we get
Right? That's
well,
so
what if we
awesome.
could just go over and sleep over? And their
Right.
parents are like, well, you kind of just met.
Yeah.
But like these kids are running the Dartmouth Mall, like, doing surveys.
You have a connection.
Yeah.
We have a common enemy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We have something, we share something together. And I don't think, me personally, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I was bullied. When I was growing up, and it wasn't just one person. Right off the top of my head, I'll be honest and truthful as I always am with the show. One person in particular, I remember walking out of school, and for whatever reason, he'd always go out of his way to find me. And this particular day, I happened to be walking. I was actually coming up Davis Street.
Yep.
I had my backpack, and he came from behind me and he pushed me, and my bag fell, and like I just kind of turned around and I reached down to grab my bag, and then that's when he turned around and just kicked me in the face, and he busted my nose.
Yeah.
And that for me, it was a moment in my life that I had to make a decision. I had to figure out what I was going to do. And I just turned around and I looked at him, and of course the blood coming down my face, and I just looked at him. And I think at that moment, I think he realized that he had crossed the line. I picked up my bag, I wiped the blood off my nose, I turned around and I walked home. And it was the first time that I actually had that conversation with my mom. I never told her that was ever happening to me. It was
almost normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It really, I hate
somebody
to say
was
it, Justin.
teasing you, was almost like they're paying attention to you.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, and that's, we've been taught that too.
Yeah.
Oh, get me started. So, I mean, but we've also been taught that, right?
Yeah.
We've been taught like, oh, like as a little girl growing up, oh, if a little boy picks on you, that means he likes you. No. Why is someone degrading me?
Right.
Why does that mean they like me?
Right,
So we
right.
encourage this culture of abuse, and then it stems into violence,
Yep.
and everyone's like, why did it happen?
Right,
Well,
right.
what were you just promoting?
Exactly. Start at the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's just it. These young children, I always say it, their brains, the neurons are just exploding in their minds. I look at my granddaughter, she's 4 years old. When I talk to her, I can see that she is consuming every word coming out of
Everything.
my mouth. You know what I mean? She takes it verbatim. If I look at her and say, hey, Lavu's going to open the pool, she's like, when, right now?
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't get the concept that it's still closed,
Yep.
but she immediately, that concept of thinking. To your point, Corrine, if you can get these children young enough and make them realize that they have the strength, that they have the power, and that no one has any right, ever to make you feel that way.
Yep.
I think that right there, that's the empowerment. And to your point, scary times, man. The time is ticking. We have a generation of children out there that are very vulnerable. And how do you get to them, right? And how do you make them understand that this could be the new future. This could be the normal. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be worried. You know, you can go to an event and not be afraid that, I'm going to run into so-and-so is going to be there. And, that group of people is going to be there. I'm not going to go. How many children are out there that avoid that amazing interaction with their friends and peers because of that? Being afraid. Being afraid. Right, just being afraid. So do you guys, just real quick with the organization, do you guys bring them in? Or like, do you guys have a central location where you go? Where you have like maybe programs? Is that like, do you have like is it almost like a Head Start type of situation, or?
No, our big goal is to get a facility.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That takes
Because
money.
I think like the Bank Street Armory, like a place like the Bank Street Armory,
Exactly.
something like that.
An old school, a mill space in Fall River. That's the I wish I could do it tomorrow,
Yep.
but I can't.
For
You know
real.
what I mean?
I'm like, let's
We
go.
got
The word is out there.
We got the clinician ready. You know what I mean? We got the volunteers ready. We got organizations willing to come in and help with us.
Yeah.
So
what would it be like?
Mainly what we do is now we attack the playgrounds, the parks.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We get out into the community, different neighborhoods, different times of the year.
Yeah.
And we bring the events to them.
That's nice.
That's the way to do it now.
Nice. Yeah,
We're currently working with the mayor's office and everything to try to get transportation to some of these events, because this year we're going to use Kennedy Park as a focal point for
That's
2
smart.
and 3.
Big shuttle people. Yeah.
So now if we can either work with the mayor to get us involved with either the school department or the SERTA bus company or something along that lines to be able to bus from the housing projects or these neighborhoods up to Kennedy Park for us. That's the big picture, because we are utilizing Kennedy for a lot of the events this year.
And that's awesome. And if you go out there and you drive by, it's almost like wasteland. You know, I keep my stories, my life. We grew up there. My grandmother would take us. We would walk with my brother, my cousins. We would go. We would spend the day at Kennedy Park. And then it just kind of just fizzled out. People just stopped going there. And even softball, people weren't playing softball. Like the fields were going bad. But then, like you mentioned it, you could see like there's some traction there. They built a new roof over the podium.
There's big plans going on for Kennedy. They are redoing the softball field.
Yeah.
There's not nameless projects going on there that I really can't speak on. But
that's great. That's the future right there. I mean, I'm so glad you're saying that. Like, don't let us know. But the idea that you guys are working in the background, that there are things taking place.
Even the playground up there is all brand new. You drive by there, like on a day like today. You're not going to be able to get a parking spot over there. There's kids running around everywhere. It's great to see again.
Right. So no tetanus shot for anybody, right? It's awesome.
that's what it's all about. So that's what we basically do. We get out into the community. We bring awareness. We bring down face painters. We bring down cotton candy machines. We have crafters for the kids. We got Corrine will be there, so if the kids need to speak.
And can I ask you a question? If I wanted to get involved, if I wanted to participate, how would I do that? Who do I reach out to? Is it going through the Facebook page, or is there a phone number that they can call?
Right now, it's mainly Facebook. You can go to Organization Standing Together benefit page. You got to make sure you go to the benefit page because the other ones are actual literature website where you don't see as much as the cool stuff we're doing in the community.
Gotcha.
So make sure it's the benefit page side of it.
And anybody can go there. The Bobby Kudo Show, you guys sent me the link.
Yes.
It's on there. So if you guys want to go on there right now, you guys can go ahead and follow and go check it out for yourselves.
And then we have the new group is Generations for Youth Empowerment.
Yep.
So that's where I mainly work with Corrine and Karen. We got Yoshida involved. So we got a group of us.
Yeah.
And that's the more community-based side of it.
How does that start? How does that collaboration
That all started through the video of the Morton because collectively we seen the video.
Yeah.
The thing went viral. There was 500-700 comments underneath it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
a few of us sparked each other's interest and said, hey, let's meet.
Yeah.
Let's bring this and let's see what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, Yoshida, she really, because Karen actually got kicked off of Facebook, whatever.
Karen Cook.
Karen Cook, who's the mom of it. For me personally, I remember I was like sitting on my couch and I was by my window because I like to be like an older woman and like watch out the window
Watch
and
the
make
window, watch the
sure
road go by, right?
no
Right.
one's
Neighborhood
like,
watch.
I'm right up right there. So I saw it and I was like, okay. And mind you, this isn't something I don't hear of on a regular basis. I work with families with a significant history of complex trauma, youth and families in the system who have no permanency. I was a clinician on a residential campus for those kids where the systems failed them and they don't have a home. So they ended up on a residential campus, which is, it's terrible. So
right.
this isn't outside of my realm, unfortunately, to like see these videos popping up. But something was just like in alignment and I was like, okay, all right, I'm going to let this resonate quick. And then it just kept popping up. It kept popping up. And then I saw Yoshida like posted like, let's get together. And I was like, I feel like I should go because this is also something I advocate for. I provide consulting, trainings, wellness, workplace wellness, or
is
just
there an
wellness.
email like somebody could reach out to you if they want? Could you share that with the audience?
Yeah. So it's Corrine _N. So CORRINE _N @outlook.com.
And we'll also put that in the show notes. So we'll go in and listen, all the links. So we'll do everything for the Organizational Standing Together benefits page. I'll put the link. We'll put them all in there. So whoever's listening to the show on the podcast, they'll have access to it. Like, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So I saw this and I saw like Yoshida, for example, who is a mom. And I was like, I know what they're going to be met with. I know what the system is going to say back, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I can't let this group of moms who have great intentions or this group of people that have great intentions and not go in there and say, okay, this is what you're up against. This is how we need to face it. And Justin was there too. So that was really my first time meeting him as well.
Yep.
And yeah, we all like came together and
So
it was
a
the
calling.
same thing.
It was a calling, right? Like
we were put there
right?
for a right reason, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's great because although we're looking at the aspect of like youth violence from like the bullying perspective and the people that are victims of bullying, right? It's also the bystanders and it's also the kids that are the aggressors themselves.
Right.
And the moms, that's what got me. I can't be involved with people, especially because of what I work with.
Yep.
I can't be involved with others that look at the aggressors and say, well, screw them, harp on them, or have negative thoughts. They need support too.
Absolutely.
And
they're acting out. Something's happening.
And these moms, despite everything they're going through, despite what Karen's going through with her own daughter, she was saying the same thing. Like, yes, my daughter needs more support, but they need it too.
Right.
And not everyone thinks that way. And I get that. I think it's hard for me to understand that.
Yeah, right.
But not everyone thinks that way.
Right.
And so to come across just like daily people that thought that way, I was like, okay, let's keep talking.
Right. Well, we raise our kids, we say the same thing. If anybody ever touches you, you hit them back.
Yep.
Right.
Like that's the way, and again, when you look back at that, you really don't think much of it. But when you look at that today and you realize, is that the answer? Is that the solution? Like, I don't want to sound corny and I don't want to sound soft here, but telling your kid to hit somebody that's hit them, it's almost like, well, first of all, which situation
you're adding to it, but it's the way we were raised that way. It was right.
That's exactly
You got to defend yourself.
It was self-defense. It was, I'm not going to allow you to disrespect me, but rather than saying to my kids, what I always tell my kids is, listen, you let me know. Like something happens to you, you're not comfortable, something happens, somebody touches you, or let me know. Let's talk about it. You don't have to go to your teacher. You don't have, and again, my children, I'll say this, they were fortunate. They have two parents that are very, very like just supportive of them. Yep. Not all kids have that.
But they have the opportunity too. And that's where too, like you're right, they don't have that. And that's part of like why I advocate the way that I do and why like I'm standing here saying the school system needs to change.
Right.
Because we all need to take accountability.
Agreed.
We want kids to take accountability, but when it comes to the adults taking accountability, we're all going, but
yes, absolutely.
Take accountability. Stand in your ground, stand in your power. What can you do in that moment?
Great point.
And just because a kid comes from a home that's broken or is growing up with me as their clinician, the one answering the phones, basically playing such like a motherly figure, doesn't mean you don't have that opportunity to form that relationship in the school.
Right.
That's a resiliency factor.
Yeah, but is that what you mentioned?
Yeah,
like almost it's the resistance because
fill in the crevices.
Fill in the crevices, right? Because
cracks.
I can only go as
the teacher can only do so much.
There you go.
The
There's
police
a line.
department can only do so much. The city council, the mayor, they can only physically do so much.
That's
so you need community.
Yes.
You need community.
Absolutely, and that's I think the part that people are missing.
That's why once I spoke with her the first meeting we had, I was like, I need you in my organization too. Like I don't know how big. I know you're real busy, but come down, help us because there's a lot of things we do in the community. So
and real quick, like the Trinity here, like just I wonder. He's not, unfortunately, he couldn't make it, but Brian Vienna. I mean, he's just an amazing individual. I've known Brian for a really long time. We kind of same circles of friends and people, and I will tell you that every time I go on Facebook. I'm not very good at Facebook. I never had one before, and obviously with the show, you got to have one.
Yep.
But every time I went in and I see Brian, like he warms my heart every single time. There's always something positive. He's always somewhere doing something great, and I say to myself, it's infectious. I want to be a part of that. And I reached out and like, Brian, how can I help? Like whatever I can offer, the show, whatever we can do to get the word out to people, because you guys you're doing it.
Yes.
Like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here behind a microphone.
But that's enough.
But you guys are out there.
You're getting us in touch with these people to let them know to come down. And like I said earlier, when you come down and you're a part of it, it makes you want to do more. If you got a heart, if you even the positive sides, you know what I mean. Not even talking about the school incident and all of that. Like just seeing these kids smile and. Right back to I can put it, seeing this young girl smile again because the first day I met her,
oh my goodness,
she was sheltered, biting her fingernails off, all locked in, no smile, no interaction, petrified, and it was a little weird for her. You're meeting some strangers, in our organization now. We meet up at Jameson's shop, so like we're in an industrial mill in Fall River, and we use a little bit of his office space because he's kind enough right now to help us. So it was kind of strange, but. Now to see, like, after 6-7 meetings, these kids, like, smiling, running around, playing, joking, it's such a beautiful thing. So if you get out there in the community, Bobby, and you actually witness it,
man,
there's no way you can deny it. Or at least try to help in some way. If it's a Facebook share, that reaches all your friends.
Absolutely.
That reaches people that
absolutely.
I don't know too many people that haven't seen our organization, but there's a lot of people that haven't. So anybody that can share what we're out there doing. That's part of the help. So that's why I want to just thank you.
No, don't kidding me. Thank you. It's the likes, it's the shares, and we talked about it. The government's the 14th. Is that right? The 14th.
Yes.
Because I'm going to be there. I'm going to go down there
tomorrow. The rally.
Yes, good.
Yeah, is that what we're going for?
That's what we're going for.
Oh, okay. Tomorrow. What's the date? Tomorrow's the 19th.
Tomorrow would be the 19th.
So don't have a watch on.
Yeah.
April 19th.
The 19th.
Yeah. 4:30 to 6:30
tomorrow.
Yes.
And it's all peaceful again, and something so. I'm big on nonviolence. We're big on nonviolence. Personally, like with my yoga and everything, ahimsa, it's one of the pillars. So like have to live by that nonviolence.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
And that's what we want to put out there too, is like, this is not to get people riled up in a bad way. It's for all of us to come together and say, hey, listen to these kids' stories. Raise awareness of that mental health. We're going to say those words. We're going to say mental health. We're going to say suicide. We're going to say trauma. We're going to say that they wanted to harm themselves in any way. Right? Because we need to say that.
Yes, we have to hear it. Everybody has to hear it because it's the truth. We can't hide behind this imaginary idea that just because we don't see them, out of sight, out of mind, these kids are hurting inside. We got to do something. We got to do something. This is the investment.
Yes.
This is our future. You know what I mean? These are the These are the pillars of our community. You know, these are the next mayors, the next councilmen.
Oh, very much.
We
Right?
got the next mayor.
We have the next
You
mayor.
got him? You got him?
No, she.
She. All right.
When
All right.
I'll bring
I
her
said-
around next time.
Oh my
excellent. I would
goodness.
love that.
Let me know when she's 18.
12 years old. The kid's an encyclopedia.
No kidding.
She's awesome.
Oh my
Really?
goodness.
She's one of the peers that wasn't being bullied. She just came with her mother, concerned mother,
Wow.
and she's helping empower these kids at 12 years old.
Yep.
She's telling, pick your shoulders up, be proud, like smile.
that.
You got your head down in school. That's why they're picking on you. Like,
Wow.
and this kid's 12 years
Wow.
old and coaching these other kids.
Listen,
and
we're going to
it's-
have to get her in the studio. we're
definitely.
going to
Oh my
have to bring her in.
God.
Yes, we're going to
So
have to.
tomorrow, that's through the Generations for Youth Empowerment. We're
Yep,
also
yep.
on. That's all groups also on Facebook.
Yep.
So that's one that Corrine, Karen, and I joined to
Yep.
keep it a little separate from the nonprofit organization, just because this will just be focused more towards the mental health aspect of it. You know what I mean? I hate
right.
the word bully.
Yep,
I
yep,
don't
yep.
want to see the word on,
Yep.
on. If you want to come, bring signs of self-love, empowerment.
Sure,
You
sure.
know, let's teach these kids at a young age to be able to talk to each other, to
Right.
talk to a police officer.
Right,
I've
right.
been in many talks with the police department. I'm encouraging them to come down.
Yep.
Come be part of the community. If you're off duty,
Yeah,
come
of
down.
course.
If you're on duty, swing by, blow the sirens.
Absolutely,
You know what I mean? I've
absolutely.
reached out to a couple of motorcycle clubs.
Yeah.
Come by, rev your engine, show the kids that
Yep.
different aspects of the community
Yeah, people care.
do care.
Yes.
They look at a motorcycle and they're like scared. No.
Yeah,
These
right.
guys, you see them around Christmas times and around the
Absolutely,
holidays. and
absolutely. The biggest hearts on
Thanksgiving,
the
they're
planet.
They're
Absolutely.
dropping off 1,000 turkeys somewhere. You
Yep.
know what I mean? And
Yep.
that's what they do on the other side. What they
Absolutely.
do on their private life, we all got private lives.
We all got private lives.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
absolutely, absolutely. But the bottom line is
Community.
that when they're out in their community, they're helping.
They are.
You know, participating, and even if it's just awareness. You know, again, you mentioned just coming on here and just spreading the word and letting people know, hey, listen, this is out there. This is a great opportunity for people. And I think a lot of people are wasting their time on Netflix and Hulu, and they're sitting in their homes. And listen, we were locked up for 2 years.
Yeah.
All of us were locked up for 2 years. Here is an opportunity to get out of the house and do something great with your life. Imagine that. Even, and I always said it when I created the show, I never created the show for 1 million people. I created the show for one person. And I always said to myself, if I could reach just one person, if I could just help just one person, then it's all worth it.
Yep.
You know, it could be all the lights, it could be all the bells and whistles, it could be microphones, it could be cameras, all of those things. None of that matters. What matters is that we're helping one another, is that we're willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to sacrifice to say, hey man, let's do this together.
Yeah.
Hey, come alongside me. Let's do this together.
Absolutely.
And let's make a better future for all of us. Because if we continue, I hate to say this out loud, if we continue to ignore, because I think that's the biggest problem is
Yeah, we're ignoring.
right?
People are ignoring. They'd rather watch it on Netflix.
Yes.
Watch it on Hulu.
Yep.
The amount of times people will say,
Yep.
"Oh my gosh, did you watch that?" No, I don't. I didn't have to watch it.
Right.
I lived it.
Yep.
And also, what are you doing because of it?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Right.
Stop
Yep.
studying it
Yep.
on Netflix. If it's
Right.
so intriguing to you, get involved.
Right.
Get
and
out there.
see how it's actually
Hands-on.
Yes. Right.
Like if
right.
that moved you so much, listen to these kids.
Yeah.
Talk.
Yeah.
For 1 minute and get choked up because they can't talk anymore.
Right. Right.
Like if that Netflix just moved you, do that, please.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's just it. It's a documentary. People are emotional. Get out there. Go look at the actual impact that this has had on the community. And again, our first responders, our medical personnel, this is everybody.
Yep.
This is everyone.
Everyone.
And now, you work in these medical industries and you see these children and they're hurting themselves or they're in situations that there's nobody there to say, hey, something's wrong here. Why is this child here again?
Because we'd rather sit there and go, what are you doing?
Yep.
We need to reframe the language,
Yes.
reframe our narrative
Yep.
to change the narrative.
Yep.
Right? So instead of being like, what's wrong with you? Hey, what's going on?
Yep.
Why? Think to yourself, maybe don't ask them why because a kid might not be ready to say why.
Right.
Say to yourself, why would they be acting like this? Why would this be happening? Why do they look like this?
Right.
When you actually take the second to think about that before saying, what's wrong with you?
Yep.
What's wrong with you? So then a kid on defense is like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, well, immediately,
What's wrong with
right?
me?
There's nothing wrong with me. What's wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Like, seriously, right? That's,
But again, then it goes back to the teachers
Yes.
ain't prepared.
Absolutely.
Not that they're not doing their jobs. They're educators. They're there to educate.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not there to be a clinician.
They
Why?
need more
I don't
support.
know, but the
I know.
teachers need
I
more
know.
support.
I
That's
know.
why Bobby. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Tomorrow it's all about who needs the support.
Yep.
And obviously it's everybody.
Yep.
Everyone.
It goes from bottom to the top.
Yep.
And that's what we're working for. We want the teachers to get more support. Is there a workshop that could be offered?
Yep.
Is there clinicians that could be brought into these schools?
Yep.
What
You know
wellness are you doing for them?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
What does wellness look like for them? Because we also have this idea of self-care, right?
Yeah,
We have
right.
this idea of what self-care looks like. Does that actually match what the teacher, what they need?
Right.
Probably not.
Right.
So we need to integrate more of these trainings
Right.
to be supportive.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And we
Yep.
need to have more wellness opportunities
Yeah.
for these
Yeah.
teachers, for
Yeah.
anyone at
Right.
this point,
Right.
but especially speaking around this,
Right.
teachers.
And I think the cookie cutter idea doesn't work.
No.
I think it's
No.
every
It's proven
child-
it hasn't worked.
Yeah, individuality for
They
each
tried it.
individual.
How long have we
That's
been back? How
absolute-
long have they been back in school?
Absolutely. Right.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
These kids need outlets. They
Yeah, they do.
need more.
They do.
The teachers need more.
Yep.
Right down to the police department needs
example,
more.
Like for me, going through school, like I wasn't always a grade A student. I was probably like a B, C average student, and I worked really, really hard. But when I went through the school system, the way that you were viewed was just based on your academics. Like
Yep.
the fact that I was maybe charismatic, or maybe that I could tell a joke, or maybe that I was compassionate to my
How about
my
you
peers.
at 12 years old and could do the full landscaping job?
Right,
These
right.
kids
Yeah,
are going to
yeah.
get more hands-on.
Exactly.
Not every
exactly.
kid learns the same.
And there's nothing.
So,
and there's
there's no resources for that.
Right,
We're,
right.
we're learning this more and more every day.
Yep.
It's great to be book smart. We need book smart people.
Right,
But
right.
these kids are our future. We
hands,
need
man.
plumbers.
Yes,
we
we-
need electricians.
there it is,
We
man.
need police
There-
officers. We need, well, police officers need a little education, but we need these
Absolutely.
hands-on people.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yes.
So these schools
Yes.
are going to offer more. We got to
Yes.
have more projects
Yes.
for these kids to
Yes.
do.
Yes.
More
Yes.
for them to get out in the community and
Absolutely.
be able to do. And that's
Yep.
through everything, through organizations standing
Yep.
together.
Yep.
That's what we're trying to provide.
Yep.
So we offer voucherships, and right now we're working with Florida Falcons.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got the independent baseball leagues. We got federal baseball league.
Yep.
We got national baseball league
Yep.
that we work with to provide vouchers.
Those are great organizations,
Gillette's
man.
MMA. We
Yep.
got Regiment MMA, like loves boxing. We've been in talks with them.
That's awesome,
Fall
man.
River Youth Soccer.
Yep, yep.
And we'll provide vouchers for the kids if they need them.
Okay.
So that's the big step through organizations standing together. We want to bridge the community.
Sure.
So it's community.
Yep.
Like whatever we can do. And
Justin, where does the donation come from? If I wanted to donate monetary, how do I get that to you? How do I send that to you? Is it through Facebook? Is it
cash.
through
No, I'm
cash?
kidding.
right here,
Checks made
right
out to
now.
Justin
Actually,
Rutkowski.
can we please get off this?
We have a
Big
technical
bags of
difficulty.
cash. Big bags of cash. Now you can go to Organization Standing Together benefit page.
Yep.
And
Actually, I got that
checks-
up right now. I'll
Yep.
share that. I'm going to share that with the audience
Checks
right
can be
now.
made
Just take
right
a
out
look
to
right there.
Organization Standing Together.
Yep.
And you can reach out to Brian Viana, like you said.
Yep.
Brian, myself, Corrine. And on the page, you can reach out to anybody. We got Heidi Souza's our president. Gina DeCarlo's one of our secretaries. Lori Ferrera's our treasurer.
Yeah.
So you can reach out to her.
Those
Sorry.
sound like some friendly names, man. Like every one of them, every single one of them, man. It's
No, we're a
brings me back.
great group of people. So if you reach out to anybody on Organization Standing Together benefit page,
Yep.
you can just simply write a check.
Yep.
You can come down to any of the events we're doing. Obviously, tomorrow we'll be at City Hall.
Yep, we got that right on the screen right now. Tomorrow it's 4:30 p.m. at the Youth. It's the Youth Voices for Change at the Fall River Government Center. And
Yep.
as you can see right there, we already got a couple of people that's my cousin Rosie right there. She's going to be there.
Hi, Rosie.
So we've got a couple of people already involved and that are gonna show up tomorrow. And what a great thing. What just an amazing event. You know what I mean? So tomorrow the hope and goal is what, guys? It's just awareness, get people together. Like you mentioned, don't show up with a bully sign. Don't show up with get out of here sign.
Nope.
It really
Nope.
is.
And the kids can write their stories on
Sure,
it, right?
sure.
That's also super important. Saying like, this is how it hurt me. This is what happened to me. So the kids are making like poster boards and all of that. But I'm looking at it right now in the Youth Voices for Change. So you
Yep.
see in that cover photo right there, we stand together in unity for the children of our community. And that's where the Generations for Youth Empowerment too is, because we are different generations. We are all generations
Yes.
for that youth empowerment. We all are different ages. We all come from different backgrounds, but we all need to stand together in unity
Right.
for them to have that platform
Yep.
and say, okay, I can hold this sign saying this experience was super terrible and my mental health was really bad. And I ended up being sectioned and in a hospital, and that was even worse.
Right.
But what's going on now? And people are listening to me. People care about me. People want to be here.
Right.
So if anything, too, it's not that you're showing up for us. You're literally showing up for them.
Yep. Yep. That's great. It's just amazing. And just showing up. It's just, we're not asking you to move anything. We're not asking you to build anything. We're not asking, just show up. Just show our children that we care.
Absolutely.
And that they have support from the people that we promised. It's our obligation. It is our obligation to take care and watch out for our kids. It really, really is. And I think that the further we get away from that, obviously we see the consequences. So let's get everybody. Look, there is a lot of great energy in this room right now. I'm
getting my little caffeine fix.
I'm telling you, man, I'm sensitive to energy, and I got to tell you, the amount of just wonderful energy that's in here, I can see that you are really into this, and this is something very, very important to you.
Yep.
And I just want to be able to do whatever I can do, and the audience and the fans of the show, I want to let them know whatever you can do to support this amazing organization and to help just bring people together and support your community.
That's what it's about.
At the end of the day, and I've said this from day one, I recorded my first episode, I called it the inaugural episode, and the first thing I said on that show is, it's all about legacy. What are we leaving behind?
Yep.
Right? What are we leaving for our children? What's next in line for them? Where are they going to go? Are we going to set them up? Are they going to be all set for success and to enjoy life? Because from the moment my mom and dad, they came over, they immigrated from Portugal, they got their citizenship, they came here for a purpose, and that purpose was to find happiness and just enjoy life, right? And granted, life is this. It's ebb and lows. It really is. But if we help these children become balanced and they can recognize the good and the bad, then we've given them the gift of life. What more? Honestly, guys, what more could you possibly give to someone than the gift of life, and just to be able to not bite your nails?
Yep.
I mean, you know what I mean? And not scratch the hair out of your head and, oh my God, tomorrow morning and I got to get dressed, and removing all of that anxiety and letting these kids be what they are. And what it is they are literally these young flowers that are blossoming into whatever we need, whatever the world needs. But if they're just kind of collapsed into this jar and the lid is closed tight and they're not able to vocalize how they feel, shame on us. I believe that. I believe shame on us. We need to pop the lid on those bottles, open them up, and let these kids just you know what? You can capture a butterfly. It is beautiful. You put it in a jar and you can look at it and it'll fly around for a little bit. But before long, it's going to die.
Yep.
It doesn't have everything it needs.
Yeah.
And that's where we come in. That's where you come in. You guys are the ones providing that oxygen. You're taking the lid off the bottle and you're letting these butterflies go. Let them fly. Let them become something.
Let them follow their passion. And the passion looks different.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And with passion, so this is something that I think too, like, granted, COVID has happened. And a lot of people are like, well, COVID. Okay, 4.5 million people quit their jobs in November.
Yeah.
4.4 million people quit their jobs in February, right? Why? Because we're saying my passion is my purpose. What lights me up is my purpose. We're coming to this different understanding of life. Some of us have been there, right?
True.
Some of us had that understanding, but some of us needed the push for COVID. So what I say too to that is, like, we've all experienced disruption and dysregulation all at once, collectively.
Yes.
So if anything, that just all puts us on a platform together.
Right. We're all at the starting line together.
Let's use it to our advantage and say,
together.
Like, what are we going to do from here? We have the opportunities we have because we have to rebuild anyways.
Right.
So how are we going to rebuild?
Right.
The structures didn't work.
Exactly.
And that's what we also are saying is the systems in place did not work. They absolutely will not work now. And people are stepping out of their everyday and saying, it's not happening.
It's not happening. I'm here. I'm proof positive of that. I quit my job to do this because I realized I don't want to live in that perpetual hamster wheel anymore. I feel like there's more. There's more to me. There's more to all of us.
These kids. So this is what's happening too with these kids. And people are like, oh my goodness, you can say what you want, but I mean, you can only fill a cup so much, right? And or you can stuff things under the rug, but eventually it's all going to come out. Well, that's what's happening with this generation, this upcoming generation. Everything that we've stuffed under the rug is coming out. And these kids are saying, like, this is not a way to live. Right. Whether or not they recognize that they're saying that or they're verbatim saying that, that's what their actions are showing.
Absolutely.
That's what they show every single day by speaking out and saying, I don't like that. I don't like this. When they're being called too sensitive or, you know, I had to deal with that, so you have to deal with it. They're saying, well, it's wrong.
Right.
We shouldn't have to do it anymore. And guess what? They're right.
Yeah, they're absolutely right.
They absolutely are.
Right. But they need they need that empowerment.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Of course, because they
recognize
can't.
it.
They can't do it on their own.
Right, you see
I
it.
can't do it on my own.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
We can't
Yes.
I'm trying to do it on my own.
It's not great. I try and
I
do
noticed
it.
I needed help. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why calling all community members.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come out and support these kids.
Yes,
Please
absolutely.
support each other.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's again, and the feeling you get, like I know you mentioned it, and I can kind of see it in my head when people show up at first, and then all of a sudden they realize what they're doing, and be like, "Wow, I want to do this again."
Yeah.
Like, what a great feeling this is. I feel like I didn't just waste my afternoon at Target or Walmart spending money I don't need to be spending.
Yep.
I'm down in the community. I'm on the government center, and I'm hanging out with some wonderful people, good energy. Pumping a positive message and saying, "Hey, you know what? The next event is right down the road. Let's get there next." You know what I mean? And then let's share these ideas.
And it is right down because May 14th we're going to be at Diamond.
Yeah.
So there's a Family Diamond Family Wellness Festival.
Okay.
That's through the Youth Empowerment Task Force.
Okay.
And that's going to be at Diamond High School, and that's going to be 9 in the morning to 12 on that's May 14th.
Okay.
Then May 15th we're going to have the air-cooled car show.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
and
awesome.
Full recreational day. That's with Brian Viana, Bruce Dolores, Scott Bargett, myself, through organizations standing together.
Shout out Bruce. He's quite the
Bruce.
quite the tattoo artist.
Oh,
man.
no,
The guy is-
he's quite the person.
absolutely. More, he's the person.
He's family,
yes.
but
yeah. They're just, I mean, he's
not only that, he does a lot in the community. A lot
he
goes
does.
unrecognized.
I appreciate people for their craft. I always say to
I
myself
know.
that somebody who's just amazing.
Hello.
Right. And just, look,
And like the
right. I appreciate the fact that anybody could be that talented and that good at something, and he really, really is. And I've had the opportunity to sit and talk with him a couple of times, and I will tell you this, like a little bromance. I mean, honestly, 'cause, and I know exactly what I'm talking about. He's
look at my hair. You know what I mean? Look at my hair.
Right.
I always tell him when you walk in the room, I got the second best hairs. Can you stay away from me?
Right, seriously. He is such an intelligent conversation. Like, he is so grounded. And I had the opportunity, we were at a birthday party together, and it was really the first time him and we knew each other, but the first time him and I had a chance to actually conversate. And I'm like, wow, man, this
he's
guy's
interesting.
He's a cool cat,
He's
man.
a bird lover too.
Yeah, he's a cool cat. You know what I mean? It's like anybody else who wears those Chucks, he wears them best. You know, nobody's wearing better than him. But again, just great people around us. You know what I mean? Just Justin. I mean, just these people. You've your whole life, and it's not like they're making it like it was 2 weeks ago. This is how they've been. This is their life. This is what they want to give back. So you can't make that stuff up. And I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful that you.
So that's May. I might have said May 15th.
Yeah.
But May 15th, Weehawken Fall River. That's our kickoff event.
Yeah.
We're doing
And
that.
where is that? Where's that?
That's going to be outside the government center also.
Also, all right.
So May
okay.
15th, outside government center. That's Weehawken Fall River. That's through the Chamber of Commerce. Patty Rigo.
Yeah.
Ashley Anchino. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry, Ashley. But the Chamber of Commerce is involved. Organizations stand together. We're a part of it. There's going to be a kid zone.
Yep.
There's going to be a selfie station. So there's going to be about 6 props that are going to be made by RL Designs, Roxanne Longstone.
Yeah.
So that'll be Weehawken Fall River. Then the following week, the 21st, we'll be at Kennedy Park for the car show.
Sweet.
That's where Bruce and the guys, organizations standing together. We're gonna have full recreational teams. We have vendors coming down to sell arts and crafts. We have arts and crafts for the kids to do for free there.
Yep.
We're gonna have informational tables from just about any organization in Fall River.
Yep.
If you're out there and you're not signed up for informational tables, you can reach out to Brian Viana, myself, Corrine. Organization Standing Together benefit page. We're trying to cut it off this week for the car show, but we got many other events going on. So, and then that's about that. Then after that, we get the car show, the Street Art Festival.
Okay.
At the end of the year, that's going to be August 20th.
Nice.
So that'll be part of the city block party.
That's sweet.
So
that's sweet.
That's going to be at Kennedy Park.
Now,
also.
how many times have you guys done the block party? Have you done it a couple of times? Or is this
There was one we did it last year. The city's been doing it for a while.
Yeah,
last
yeah,
year,
yeah.
we really kind of got involved.
See, I heard last year
we did the
was
cornhole.
awesome.
We
I
did
heard it was
the
awesome.
city cornhole last year.
Yep.
So we went to the parks, about 8 parks last year. I think one got rained out, so North Park got rained out, so we did 7.
Yeah.
And then, so that was with Brian Viana, myself, organization standing together.
Yeah.
And we were doing the cornhole for the kids. We jumped
cool.
around the whole
That's
city
cool.
every weekend doing cornhole. And then the championship coincided with the basketball tournament through Bobby Bailey and the Fall River Sports Network.
Okay, all right.
So it was their championship day, our championship day, and then the whole city just got involved. Wow. The school department came down. The community came down.
That's magic, man. Right? Is that not magic?
And it turned.
Jeez.
And it was, like I said, it was a great day, and the city loved it.
Wow,
so
man.
more
Imagine
and
that,
more
like
of
all
these
that
events
coming
we can
together.
do.
So tell me, who won the cornhole? Who was the champion? Who won the cornhole tournament?
That's in notes. They know who they are, though.
Yeah,
That's the good thing.
right,
They feel like winners.
Top secret. Well, you know what? I think everybody wins. Everybody wins in these situations. It's getting together, having a good time, enjoying company. And again, to your point, is that there's an organization out there that wants to support and help. Like, kick in, get involved. Maybe drop an email, and maybe there's a banner, right? Did you guys do banners?
We do have banners, and when we're asking them when they do come to set up, or even tomorrow, if you just want to come down, bring flyers. I don't need banners tomorrow, or you can hold your banner, I guess. But come down, bring informational flyers. So if you're out in the community, you do something that you think can help these kids out.
Sure.
Come on down. Any sports leagues, dance classes, musical schools, art classes, anything that's positive for the community.
That's awesome.
We need these kids to have outlets. People complain there's nothing in the city. There's nothing. There is.
Right.
It's just not enough people know about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you got an organization where you think you're doing something good for the kids, and you're not out there and people ain't coming, come down, meet these families, take advantage of us being out there with these people. I was trying to look for the right word, but take. I guess that's the word. Take advantage of it.
Exactly.
Bring it. We want to give you the platform.
Absolutely. Get out of the house.
We need these kids to have things to do to stay off the streets. So if you don't want the kids disrupting the neighborhoods and this and that, give them something to do.
I miss Forever Celebrates America.
We're trying. That's why we're building up these festivals. We want to do all these street days and the street art festival and the car show. We want to show the city we can do it again.
That's awesome, man. That is
Unfortunately, the violence. And there was a lot of negative brought on. The mayor's changed and this and that, and you can't blame it on one thing.
No, of course.
It went away, and we want to bring it back. And I know the city does. I speak with a lot of the city officials because of everything through the nonprofit. I think I should have an office somewhere in City Hall, so I don't got to commute so much.
Real.
I don't need a paid position. I do it for fun, but. Just like I was saying, I'm in there so much, so I speak with these officials. I know what their plans are.
Get a little spot for them. We get this guy a desk, man.
There's only so much only one individual can do. So
I'll tell you what.
Let's all get together.
You're really good at this. You know that? You are. You're really good at that. You got a radio voice, man. You're speaking really well. You've done this before, right? You've done a couple of.
We've been on a few,
Yeah. Nice.
No plugs.
Nice.
No plugs.
No plugs. You sound great, man. It's just,
thank you.
You know, it's one thing to be in here and discussing this. I think it makes it easy, and I only say that because when you're talking about something that you're passionate about and something that you love, it's easy to talk about that. It really does come natural. I can see that you guys are really passionate about this. I don't want to draw this too far out, but I want to make sure that we cover all the information if anybody wanting to contact you guys. But I also want to take an opportunity to just recognize you both. And of course, Brian as well, and everybody who's involved, to say just thank you so very, very much for giving back to our kids. I mean, it's one thing, you know, I'll say it out loud. I moved out of the city. You know, I rather than me, you know, again, I mentioned the school systems were changing. It was they were shutting down schools. They were moving schools around. So for the wife and I, were like, gee, well, what do we do? Like, do we have our kid kind of bounce around these schools? And, you know, thankfully we had some options. So we did. We kind of moved out to Berkeley. But like I mentioned to you, my mom is still in the city. My heart is still in the city. I love that city. Every good memory I have is in that city. And to your point, it got dark there for a while. It really did get dark there for a while. And I think now you see things are kind of lighting them up. When I go down to Columbia Street and I go into the water district, you look and see that all that construction that took place, they cleaned all of that up. It was just dirty. It was dark. And you can see that the city is starting to get itself back up on its feet again. And, you know, Forever Celebrates America, if that comes back, and bringing in the tall ships and so now you bring all of these people in, and it's not just the city. But I think with you guys being you know, you mentioned something very important. You mentioned a building and building a strong building. The building is only strong based on its foundation. And that's who you are. That's who the both of you and the people that are with you. You are the foundation. You guys are the ones that are laying the foundation so that these children can build these amazing structures that will last forever. They're timeless, and no matter what, as time goes on, like the next generation just picks up where the last one left off. But that's with you. If without your commitment, without your will, without your want, it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? And I'm not looking, I know you guys don't want any credit, but I think it's just very, very important to realize that you are noble and what you're doing is very noble. And people should appreciate it. They really should, because I think that even the people who have no idea or might have an interaction or a bad interaction with the child, and you guys somehow interacted or intervened and changed that child's mindset, that interaction never ever takes place. It becomes a positive interaction as opposed to a negative interaction. And that's where we all come in. Guys, thank you so very, very much for being here. I mean, Corrine,
thank you.
Justin, you guys are just wonderful. Guys, please go over and support. Go over to the Facebook page. All the links are right there. We can email me at thebobbycudoshow@gmail.com. Any information you want about these wonderful organizations, I'll get it right out to you right away. I'll share it with you guys. And of course, if there's any way you want to support the show, we know that you can go ahead and reach out to Justin.
Yep. And if anybody's having trouble through the Facebook page, call me. 774-606-6928.
One more time.
774-606-6928. And just call me. Let me know if you want to be a part of an event. If you got an issue where you're not able to get in touch with the right person, I'm very well. I don't want to say liked, but I'm very well known in the community.
I think it's like, I think you're right on, man.
So,
I think you're right on.
I got a few numbers in my Rolodex that I'll pull out if needed as a favor, I guess. I can't promise the stars, but I just want to make myself accessible for the families that might not know who to reach out to.
Absolutely.
I can maybe make that connection for you, give you the right person to speak with.
Sure.
You might be trying to call the mayor's office for an issue that the mayor, he's ultimately in charge, but somebody along, he hires staff. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's different officials in the city that can handle certain things that we don't need to bring it right up to the mayor's front desk.
There are the proper channels. Like if you're looking to get some action, there are the proper channels to do that. I mean, obviously the mayor's not sitting there reading every single DM that's sent to him every day. But and you know what? Granted, we have a new mayor on the way. I can't wait to meet her at some point. We're gonna have to bring her in here.
Oh my!
6 more years.
I am excited. You mentioned her, so it's like I'm all about like the future. I love it. I love it. And the idea that this is, I just like all of a sudden it's like a character. Like I can't wait to meet.
She is, and then too, like the other two kiddos that have been like consistently there. They the parts they play too in the relationship and the dynamic is so important. And you can see like even, I mean, the little mayor, she does her thing, but like they're catching on to this stuff. They're feeling empowered. I mean, they went out and they were doing surveys at Dunkin' Donuts, right? To interacting with different adults, things that probably these other youth wouldn't do. But she showed them that you can do that. Activate, like I say, like activate that throat chakra. She does that.
Wow.
But then these other kids, because of it, and they've even said like, wow, 3 weeks ago I wasn't like this, and now I notice like a complete change in myself. And so they're finding their different things and their skill sets. And
Imagine that, man.
I mean,
imagine
it's
we
so
get 200,
cute.
300, 400, 500 kids together.
Wow.
That's the goal. Let's get the community all together.
And
because it's a beautiful thing to watch. They're all different.
They come from different experiences. They come from different families. They come from whatever. We don't even know each other in and out that much. But it doesn't matter. And it's so cool.
We're human first.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
we're human, and then everything else comes into place. It really does. Right. Guys, you guys are absolutely amazing. Justin, that big smile, brother. I've enjoyed that smile for the whole episode. You too, Corrine. Beautiful smile. You got something there? I
do. I just want to go over.
Let's go for it, buddy.
Just the dates again, so we get it right. So May 15th, we got We Hot Fall River. That's at the City Hall Plaza. That's going to be up and down Old 2nd Street. They'll have an artisan market. We'll have all the kids zones set up. Like I said, there'll be a selfie garden. And that'll be 11 to 4. May 21st, we have the car show. So that'll be at Kennedy Park. That's going to be 10 to 3. June 18th, the kids kick off summer. That's at Ruggles Park. And that's going to be from 10 to 2. July 16th is at Griffin Park. That's going to be their block party. That's through the Corky Road Neighborhood Association. That one's going to be 10 to 2. And then August 20th is going to be the Street Art Festival at Kennedy Park. That's 12 to 6. And I think that's all I have. We do plan on, we have meetings with the city because organizations stand together. We're working with the Fall River Sports Network, Bobby Bailey, to go actually into the housing developments and bring the events there instead of versus in a park. Because like I explained earlier, the bus in and the closer we can get to these kids. So like I said, we want to try to get into housing. We got meetings with the housing authority through the city and all of that. So we plan on going full recreational days at a few projects, housing communities coming up.
Joe Costa just called into the show. Joe, you there?
I'm here.
How are you, buddy? Listen, you're with us. How you doing, my man?
Good. How about you guys?
How you doing, Joe?
Hi.
Listen, Justin.
Yes.
Hi. I just wanted to say what you guys are doing is great for the community.
Thank you.
question for you. So I've always thought about starting an organization where I know you're helping kids that are bullied and stuff like that. I always thought of like an organization where I can get enough people. How does one, first of all, how does one start off getting an organization, start to raise money to start programs like you, get a building facility and stuff? Because I always wanted to. I live in New Bedford, and a lot of the buildings and places, they're all closing down. We used to, when I was a kid, we used to go to Hot Wheels. You could go to the park and stuff like that. All you got now is like a Butwood Park. I mean, all there is like a skateboard place now. But even some of these other places, they're closing down. And there's a lot of facilities, empty buildings, that I always thought, why can't we get some a group where we can just influence these kids that are in the streets that got nowhere to go, hang out? Because when I was a kid, it was hanging out everywhere. You used to go all over the place. There used to be a Lincoln Park, you know.
Absolutely.
Like I said, Hot Wheels. Those places that us kids can go, stay out of trouble. So I want to always start an organization where you can reach out to the youth and say, hey, you can come here and hang out. Get off the streets. Don't go selling drugs. Stay away from the gangs and stuff like that. Like an organization where I can go to a park or a corner where these kids are all hanging out, hand them out a flyer and say, hey, come over here. You know, you could play some ball over here. You could play baseball over here. Like, I would love to open it up, a place where they can go skate.
How do you fund that?
Can I
Yeah,
before
you
you go in,
say,
so
go ahead, Corrine.
actually, hi, Joe, my name's Corrine. I have recently connected with someone. She's a program director for a separate entity under Child and Family Services in New Bedford. I connected with her last week. She had called me. It was a short 4-minute phone call, but we wanted to connect more. She's actually, she has a space for youth ages 16 to 21. It's a walk-in space. So as soon as I know more and we connect more, and I'd love to like keep you, on some sort of social media so I can reach out to you to provide you more information, even to get in contact with her, because she is local. She's in New Bedford and she does the 16 to 21. So yeah, I don't know exactly how she did it all, but she would probably be a really good connection too for you.
Okay. I appreciate that. And yeah, I'd just like to have somewhere where these kids can go and, study without any problems, even helpful, like you said, 16-year-olds, what are they doing?
Yeah.
They want money, right? So why don't we have like a facility where, jobs can come over and say, hey, we're hiring McDonald's and stuff like that. And it helps them apply for the job and go get a job and, stuff like that. I think something like that would be great for these kids, because these kids got nowhere, what are they being told when they're out in the street and hanging out with their buddy? You're going to be nothing.
But even Joe, just real quick, Justin, how do you fund something like that, Justin?
The funding we're still trying to attack also, because I don't know if you misunderstood. We currently do not have a building. So Joe, what we actually do, we're going into the parks, bringing the attraction to them to build up our organization. So like I said, we started a Facebook page. We have a great group of people in the community that are getting together. So I would start with that. I'd reach out to your local school department, see if anybody from the school wants to get involved, reach out to your city councilors, see if anybody wants to get involved, and then your neighborhood. Start with your neighborhood. Start talking to people around your neighborhood.
Yes.
See if you can get a group of people together and start providing events for the kids to show. And like Corrine gave you a contact, she'll get you more information on a woman that actually already has a building in New Bedford. So that might be a little step for you. Fall River, we do have a few buildings, but we're not able technically to utilize them yet.
Yeah, right.
So
there's so many. I can imagine.
But it would all it's all through private funding. You'd have to attack some grant money. So we are looking at that now for our organization. Mm-hmm. The more I know, the more I'll share.
Awesome.
And we do got Mikey Montero in New Bedford. He's got a big podcast studio and everything down on Union Street. I don't know if you know Mikey Montero, but he's big in the music industry. But he has a building, but it's private.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. But you can utilize it. The kids can go down. I think it's a $10 membership to go in. So That's another thing out in New Bedford that
That's
I know
great.
of. And we've been talking with him to maybe bring organizations standing together
Yeah.
to New Bedford and collaborate because
That'd be
we are
great.
sister cities.
Right.
So that's
We
what
really
it's all
are.
about, bridging the
We
community.
really are. We
But
really are.
I hate to say it, but we gotta start with ours first.
Absolutely.
Before we
Right.
can
Yes.
expand.
Yes.
So
Agreed. But then you're right, man. It's always been Fall River, New Bedford. It's always been the
Sister
two
cities.
comparisons. Sister cities. Absolutely. Yes.
And
yes.
some of these guys, like you look at the '80s basketball, and the high school thing. Mike Herron and them guys, they
Yep.
had the biggest battles.
I went to school, Chris.
Now they all sit together.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
right.
they all have these PowerPoint meetings about bridging the community
Yeah.
and different things to help for.
It's amazing, right? Like how we evolve and how we grow, and
You know what I mean?
there was
These guys are friends now, but they
Yeah.
were smashing each other's buses,
Oh, of course,
leaving the school.
absolutely. I was there. I remember the days. I mean, I remember the conversations, and now it's like you realize that you grow and that you're stronger together. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You know, divided, we probably can't get anything done, but
No, we
but
can't do
together,
anything.
exactly, we can get through this. Joe, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to add to the show?
No, I just wanted to say thank you, and I love what your message is, what you guys are doing for these kids. It's awesome. I did comment in there. I just wish that there was more organizations like yours
Start one.
throughout the country.
There we go. That's
Start
it.
one up.
Right.
We'll work with you.
Yep, yeah. You're starting there. You're getting. It just needs more and more people like yourselves and to get involved to do this.
Joe, you want to come? You want to come meet us tomorrow? You want to come down to City Hall tomorrow? We'll be at Fall River Government
wish I could.
Center.
I gotta work until I work. Well, I work in Fall River.
Yep.
But
Maybe you could drive by and beep
I
the
don't
horn.
get out.
Yeah, right. Justin
Yeah,
mentioned
drive
it.
by, beep the
He
horn.
said, drive by and beep the horn.
We'll be out
buddy.
there 4:30 to 6:30. But once again, if you want my phone number, I don't care. I'll share it on air again. 774-606-6928. 774-606-6928. Joe, give me a call after the show if you got any more questions or if you want to set up a quick meeting and maybe we can get you something going out in New Bedford too to help the kids.
I appreciate it.
All right, man. Joe, thanks for joining the show, buddy. Really appreciate the call, my man. We'll talk
Thank
soon,
you.
my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
Have a good one.
You too, my man. Bye-bye.
too.
Wow, that's great, huh? Joe joining the show like that. Again,
Yeah.
It's funny because everything he was saying is what we're trying to do,
Yep.
and
Yep.
right down to the school department, working with the school
Right,
department
right.
to try to get some of these kids that are hands-on learners.
Yep.
If they're not making it academically, let's work with a couple of different businesses in
Yep.
the community where they
yeah,
can go
yes,
get work
yes,
experience.
absolutely.
Sort of like Diamond does with their co-op.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Why isn't
Yep.
Durfee able
Right.
once again,
Right.
disconnect.
Yes.
Not enough information.
Right.
Who's can make this happen? And
Yep.
if it's up to the community to make the awareness,
Yep.
now they know, okay, that is a great idea. Let's work together. How can we make this happen? What's the
Let's
proper
get
channels?
a facility.
Right. there is
And
nothing
if
more.
anybody has a
Anything
building
is-
in Fall River,
We got it. We're going to share it, right?
we
there
do
is-
need a facility.
There is no better feeling in the world than knowing that you're worth. That you have worth and you can contribute, you can give back. And if it's you're a plumber, if you're a carpenter, if you're a landscaper,
Yep.
whatever that is, it doesn't matter what that is, you're giving back. If it's podcasting, if it's building airplanes, it doesn't matter.
I was a straight D student.
Yep, yep.
Now I'm a telecommunications technician. I wire schools for a living.
Amazing.
That's,
There you go.
know what I mean?
There you go.
I run fiber optic and terminate fiber optic cables.
There you are, my man.
With
That-
a straight D education.
Right. Now imagine if you had gone through the school system and the school system had said, "Hey, you know what? You're good at this. Let's work to your strengths."
Exactly.
And rather than be like, "Hey, everybody, we're all going to learn A, B, C today," as
Yep.
opposed to saying, "Hey, you're really good at this, and you're really good at this," and empowering those feelings that, yeah, I like this. This makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing something that I'm supposed to be doing, and I think that's
Remember wood shop? You know what I mean?
Yes, man. Of
And
course.
you make the nice little and be
Yep.
like, wow, I actually made that.
I made that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
look,
can do
look,
this.
Ma, look.
But
It's
you made a napkin
yeah.
holder. You know what I mean? Like
we made the picture,
but you
right?
felt
Wasn't
good
it?
about yourself.
I thought I made a step stool. My brother and I thought we made a step stool, and we're like, "Ma, look!" And we're like, "Sit on it, stand on it." And she's like,
That's the dollhouse.
"I understand.
Right.
I understand why she didn't."
I had the pic. You know the picture? It was it looked like a water pitcher.
Yeah.
And it had
Yeah.
That's. I tell you what, I made that. My mom hung that thing in the house like forever. I think it's still there.
I
think
got
if you
my,
go
my brother's paper towel holder still.
There you go. Like it's
They had
one of
the
the
paper
right.
towels, a couple of shelves.
Forever. It's one of those things
I
that you know.
got it in my bathroom.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Guys, thank you so much. You know, and that's one of
Thank
those things you
you.
keep forever with yourselves. And,
Of course.
and I will say that today, I'll keep this with myself forever. I am so So
we'll be back.
Yeah, please. Promise?
will.
You
I
promise? All right, listen, like I mentioned earlier, I would love to do, even if it's once a month, if we get together and we do make an hour segment, if we do something like this, if it works for you guys, I would love to do that because I think all of these dates, there's a lot of dates there.
Of course.
You guys
There's
you guys are motivated.
yeah.
So let's keep doing it.
Yep.
Let's keep getting the word out.
And we got more we're adding. So
Yep, absolutely. And whatever you
as
guys
we
want
add, we'll come in.
share it with me, and I'll share it through the Bobby Kudo Show. I'll through any of our
Appreciate
outlets.
that.
We'll share all that information. And you know what? I'm very fortunate to have some amazing people in my life. I've been blessed and gifted with some just amazing human beings that have believed in me and have taken a chance on me, and I want to give that back. And in whatever way it is that we can do that, that's my motivation. That's why I'm here. I want to have legacy. I want one day, if I'm not here, I want people to be like, you know what? He did something. He made a difference. There was right, Justin, right? You too, Corrine, same thing.
Absolutely.
So I think. Again, I don't want to keep saying it, but thank you so much for being here. I don't want to keep you guys for too long, and I appreciate the audience's time, and I don't want to take too much of their time as well. But before we walk out of here,
Could I throw something else out there? I'm going to throw in the fact that I'm a business consultant for employee retention credit. So any businesses that are struggling too. So people think it's weird that I do business consulting on top of the many things I do. Multifaceted, multi-passionate.
Perfect.
All I care about is that people are living their purpose and empowered and have the support they need to live their purpose.
Yep.
So I am a business consultant for employee retention credit, which is ERC. It's under the CARES Act. Businesses, if you were open during the pandemic and had employees, it's, again, you have a tax refund waiting for you.
Okay.
So I actually help businesses.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Process the refund.
Okay. All right.
90% of businesses don't know this exists or have no idea how to do it. So we specialize in the employee retention credit. It's super complex.
Yep.
It's not a program. It's literally a tax refund because in 2020 and 2021, you paid extra on your taxes knowing you were getting this back.
So how do I find out that information, and how do I get in contact with you? Like, how do I even know? Is it the phone call? It's, hey, Corrine, can you look into this for me?
Corinne, hey, Corinne, what is this?
Yep.
Okay. And I collect the doc. It's a super, super easy process, but people don't know about it.
Right.
Hence why I'm here. And also, like how the CARES Act had the PPP loan.
Yes.
And
the
ERC.
Paycheck Protection Program. Yes.
ERC is separate. I specialize in that. So it's legitimate. It's a tax refund. People think it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
They did it on purpose for businesses to keep employees on retainer and have their business as well and say, okay, I will have this coming back to me.
Right.
Let's keep the world going.
How many restaurants out there could use that? Seriously, right? How many? You know, and I think I know a lot of Portuguese restaurants, people that, you know what, they're very good at their craft, but they don't really know the numbers and digits. Yeah. And that would be critical to helping them kind of come out of this.
So easy.
Right?
It's so easy.
How do I contact you?
So my email, also my phone number, but like you called me earlier, it goes straight to voicemail.
Yeah.
Like new iPhone, it's fancy and I don't know how to change it. It sends new numbers to voicemail. So I definitely say email me, but my phone number is 401-302-7882.
One more time.
401-302-7882.
Nice. Dial that number.
Yeah, you have a tax refund waiting for you.
There you go. So give Corrine a call and get that. And again, if you're in that,
we can get the city running again.
Absolutely,
That's too.
right.
Like if we want the city running, if we want us all functioning,
you could be the difference between be staying open or closing.
Yes,
that you could be the difference. I might need that money to just pay that last lease.
You definitely need that money.
Yes, absolutely.
It's your money.
Go get it. Go get it. How about you, Justin? Anything for you, buddy?
They can reach me for Corinne too if they can't get in touch with Corinne.
If they can't get in touch with Justin,
call me. Mines don't go to fancy voicemail.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Justin might pick up quicker than me most days.
My man. And of course, there's always texting, right? If you don't want to have to, just quick text message with a question or a concern, and just get it out that way as well. Guys, I tell you, this has just been an amazing morning for me. I will tell you that 2 weeks ago, I was in a troubled space. You know, I just taking a big chance in my life and realizing that, you know, there was something that I want to do with the rest of my life, and this is what I want to do. And the idea that, like, just 9 days later, that the two of you would be sitting in my studio and sharing this moment with me, means a whole lot to me. And I just want to think that I'd like to think that if any success that comes from this, I'd like to thank you both for being here and just sharing your audience, sharing your friends, and just letting you know like we're here. You know what I mean? And the message is always true and it's always honest. And please go over and support the show. Apple.com, Apple Podcasts, all your favorite podcast platforms. The show is available. Just go out and check it out. The Bobby Kudo Show at gmail.com. Check it out on Facebook. We'll have all the links in the show notes for today's show. Of course, reaching out to Justin, Corrine, whatever you guys need. Questions. I know Joe called in. Fantastic, Joe. Great questions. And really, if you want to do something, don't just think about it. Get up and do it. We can all think about doing great things, but nothing happens. But when we actually get up and we actually physically do something to make a difference, it doesn't take much. Last week, the last episode of the week, I told everyone and I asked everyone in the show to just write a note. And it didn't have to be a big note. It didn't have to be this drawn out letter, but just write a small note, maybe 3 sentences, and give that to somebody. It doesn't matter who it is, but let somebody know that they matter. Like you matter. Yeah. You matter. We all matter. And I think sometimes I received a note like that and it touched me deeply. And I never thought that just 3 words on a piece of paper could mean so much. But when they come unsolicited and because just people care, just care, that's a different level. And that's what you guys are here representing today.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so very much for being here. Everybody, audience, thank you so much for your time. We really, really appreciate it. And again, we're going to do this again real soon. So go out and check out the social media websites. Check everything out. And remember, always remember that all roads lead here.